So, Janine, what have you been called too much of? Could you list it for me, please?
Too much of a loud person, too much of a aggressive person, angry person. Yeah, those are the main things. I haven't always been called it. There have been times when I have been called it, but the worst times is when people don't say anything. They literally just give you a funny look, or or just stop talking to you or walk away from you in a situation, and that can be quite off-putting. I had a situation like that last year at a social event which was related to work, where a girl just kind of looked at me really like she was really scared of me because I raised my voice slightly and I didn't agree with her opinion. That can be quite horrible because you feel like you're coming across in a terrible way, and can make you feel quite guilty. But yeah, so that it's just a very difficult situation, really, and it's something that I hate being involved in. You kind of, when these things happen to you really just think about how you behave, and you kind of beat yourself up sometimes, but then it's not always my fault. That's how I feel when I look back at the situation. I have changed myself somewhat, but then I kind of feel that it's not. It's a natural progression of growing up and getting older. You start to mellow down a bit, and you learn that okay, some people do put you down for reasons that are not very nice, but then some people are just saying it because they've got your interests at heart. So you sometimes do have to take it on board. But I have learned over the years that there's a time and a place for everything. There is a time to be really loud and to laugh and to have fun. And then there's a time to question people and to, stick up for yourself or to stick up for others. There is a time and a place for everything. So it's just gauging a situation. So I manage that a lot better now.
And have you noticed any patterns in the way that women are called too much, or women of colour are called too much?
Yeah, I have, definitely. I feel that, unfortunately, a black lady can say something in a work environment or outside of work, and she will be labelled as angry, whereas a white man or a white woman can do exactly the same thing and be called assertive, and I think it's really unfair. I don't know why it is that we have a stigma over us, a sort of stigma that labels us as angry people. I don't know where that comes from, but it is pretty unfair. It's not just happened to me, it's happened to friends of mine, perfectly mild-mannered people it's happened to just when they're just trying to stand up for themselves. So I find it very unfair and very frustrating because this is 2018. We should have moved on from that sort of way of looking at people. And downplaying people's feelings as well, and sort of disregarding them and not really taking on board what someone might be saying because, oh yeah, she's just an angry lady. She's just, she's got an attitude problem. So yeah, I feel like previously some people have maybe seen me as a bit outspoken, or not even outspoken, just I don't sometimes want to keep quiet about things, and I'm not going to. And that I feel that has it's become my power over the last few years, because I feel that there are times when you need to stand up and say, actually, I don't feel that this is right. I don't feel that this person's being treated in the right way. And I feel that knowing when to do that has become a power, because it's just a good thing. It makes you braver. It makes you just more stronger as well to stand up for yourself and maybe for other people. But I think standing up for yourself is very important. And it should be your power. And sometimes, I think previously people have said that I've been loud, and I'm not so much loud now, but I've turned that into sort of, when I feel that I want to, be dramatic or I want to be funny, rather than just being loud, I've turned it into just being a funny person, just to maybe make a situation a lot more light-hearted than it is. When I was quite young, I was quite shy as well. So I remember there were people in my family that used to say that I was too shy and not very talkative around other people. So now I have turned that into just like a comedy thing. Like if I'm in a situation where I'm meeting new people, I'm really nervous and I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to these people, I will maybe make a joke of it. It's just turning something that was once a negative into something positive, and just thinking of your strengths and using them in a situation where you can feel quite weak.
If someone in their teens came up to you and said, hey Janine, I'm being called too loud, too outspoken, what do I do? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them to just think about the situation in which you were called loud or outspoken. Just think about it and think, if you feel that you hurt somebody else's feelings or upset somebody else in that situation, then yeah, that's something that you need to address. But if you feel that someone is just trying to dampen you as a person and you feel that it's unfair, then I would say continue being who you are. I mean, I'm not asking people to analyse each situation, but just to, before you blame yourself and before you question your personality, just think about the situation. It's important for us to be individuals. It's important to have your own personality and not follow others. Be yourself, because you don't want to, in 10, 15 years' time, look back and think, well, I completely changed myself because I felt that I offended one person. And just to remember, there was a time and a place for everything. There is a time to be outrageous and crazy, and there is a time to just maybe take a step back and just watch from the outside sort of thing, and just take in what's going on, and maybe let other people be quite loud and outrageous, and it all comes, it's all a life lesson. It all comes with growing up, and it all comes with maturing as well. Think how that situation made you feel. Really think about how that situation made you feel, and how the aftermath of it made you feel, and how it made other people feel as well. Because there have been situations where I have been wrong and I've had to think, well, no, I can't continue to upset others. And there are other situations where I think, no, I haven't been wrong, and I'm not going to change myself because other people might have just, not agreed with my behaviour at that time. I think that is possibly a way of looking at it. Just think about how it made you feel or how it made others feel.
If you could change the world tomorrow, like completely or in one way or any way you want, what would you change?
Oh, that's a difficult question. What would I change? Somehow I would just try to change how we treat one another. I don't think that human beings are very kind to each other. I think that, we're just not kind enough to each other. Just wish that people thought more of others and thought more of their actions and how their actions can affect someone later on in life or in that moment. I just wish that people thought more of each other and were kinder to each other. That's it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's the message that I would just like to send out, is that I would just wish that people would be kinder to one another. I really do. And to make the most of today, make the most of your friends, make the most of your family, spend time with those who make you happy. Spend as much time doing things that you enjoy, because you don't know what's around the corner. You don't know. You don't know what could happen tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. Just enjoy life. That's all I can say, really. Because when you're on your deathbed or when you're dying, you're not going to look back and think, oh, I'm so glad that I spent all of that time with that really annoying person, or that really annoying family member, or that really annoying friend, just because I knew them for so long. Life is short, enjoy it, and spend it around people that make you happy. Yeah.